Hey, I'm Nick, and I'm going to go through how to set up BookForge Studio with Runpod. There's going to be a Windows tutorial later, but for now, let's just start by picking this one, which has 24 gigabytes of VRAM. And I'm going to choose a template which I made before, but it's just a modified version of the PyTorch 2.2. And it's actually kind of because this has PyTorch and it also has Python 3.10, which we have tested before. And the other things that I changed on this template were I added some space and I exposed port 8000 because that's where you see the interface. So let's go. Okay, it's set up already. We're going to do this on Jupyter. You open up a terminal, and there's no sudo on these machines. You do apt update and apt install ffmpeg. Okay, and then we're going to go here, copy the HTTPS link, and then git clone it. You cd into BookForge Studio. After we've installed ffmpeg, we're going to pip install requirements. These are just the requirements for the main server. Every audio model is going to have requirements of its own in a virtual environment of its own. Okay, so the main server requirements are installed. So now on Windows, you'll use run.bat to see what you can do, like what available commands there are. On Linux and Unix and Mac OS, you do a make command. It's a make file that shows you all the different things you can do. Most of these are for developers. You're just going to want to start with make VM server. And that'll run it exposed on port 8000 externally. Right now it's downloading some of the sample data sets, both books and voice clips, which you can use for actors. And it's done. So you can go back here and click on this. If you expose the port, then it should be clickable, and then here it is. I'm going to start by turning it on dark mode because everybody vastly prefers dark mode. I should really set that to default. You've seen here that there's a few different places you can go. Text workflows is how you make scripts from text in various ways. We're going to start there. You can see that Wuthering Heights is already here, split into chapters and assigned to speakers. That's the goal of these text workflows, is to take text and turn them into speakers. If you wanted to do one of the ones that we've already preloaded, you can try, for example, Christmas Carol chapter 1. Stave 1, actually, not a chapter. Oh, wait, hold on. You have to go here, make script from CSV. So these are also supplied to you. These are royalty-free, and they're books that have where the speakers are already annotated. But let's say that you want to supply your own text. For example, this is the first few lines of Pride and Prejudice. Then you can do that by running Olama. Many of you will already know how to use Olama. Maybe it's running already, but on a new VM, I have this not great script that runs Olama. First cd in here, and then run Olama. All this does is just runs a specific Gemma 3 version. This is the 12B. So it's going to install that and then run it with Olama. Okay, it's downloaded already, and if we go to here and let's say Pride and Prejudice 1. Let's copy this again. Paste it in here. So this is the workflow. There's 4 of them. This is the workflow for figuring out who the speakers are and dividing it up into quotes with Olama. So let's try it out. Okay, and then I'm going to check this. Mrs. Bennett, Mr. Bennett. This is actually Mrs. Bennett. They're not perfect, but anyway, Mrs. Bennett, Mrs. Bennett. Mr. Bennett says, "You want to tell me," blah, blah, blah. All right, so you save that. The next thing we want to do is load up some models. So this is a 24 gigabyte graphics card, and we can handle a couple. I'm going to load Chatterbox and then Vibe Voice. So the way to do this is we start with the default Chatterbox workflow, and then this is a voice mode that you assign to a chunk along with an actor to generate audio. You can have different voice modes, like if you wanted to make one Chatterbox high CFG, you can make another voice mode where the CFG is 0.8 or something like that, and save that as a separate one over here. So the idea is the workflows are separate from the actors that you're assigning to each chunk of text. And then I'm also going to set up the Vibe Voice ones. Vibe Voice, this is for single speaker. These are just default parameters. And then Vibe Voice multi-speaker. We'll come back to this one later. So let's open up Chatterbox, and then we're also, right now we have, you can see which things are taking up your graphics card in the upper right here. Right now, Olama is running. We're going to shut that down. Not the most professional, just p-kill Olama. And then we're going to do the actual make command for Chatterbox. It's going to be make Chatterbox service. And here it's going to download its virtual environment and dependencies just for the Chatterbox model and run it as a separate microservice. In the meantime, I'm going to also start downloading Vibe Voice. So same thing, make Vibe Voice service. Oh. You'll see there's a lot of different terminals we have running at the same time. That's kind of the idea behind this project, is you have to figure out the memory management by turning models on and off yourself. Right now, this GPU has enough space for both of these models, but you might, for example, Higgs is huge, takes up the whole graphics card. It's like 23 gigs or something. So that one you have to run on its own. But these we can both run in parallel at the same time. Okay, so looks like they're both installed and running. If you go over here, you'll be able to see that these two models both are, the microservice has started up, but they haven't actually been loaded yet. So there's a whole other step where we have to actually generate some text here. And we're going to pick some random actor from the preloaded actors list. And then it's going to have to actually download the model back in the PowerShell or your terminal or whatever you're using. Okay, so it's done.
Hello there.
There it is. And let's do the same thing for Vibe Voice. Vibe Voice is really bad with short text. So I'm going to give it a little more. Alright. This is the vibe voice I switched. Let's do it. Okay, let's check it out.
Hello there, Vibe voice is loaded. Very cool, I think.
Okay, by the way, such a good model, right?
It's not the type of thing that would normally be collected, and certainly...
That's the original clip, and this is the small vibe voice model also. Just one thing. If we run the make command again, you can see that there's a different command for... okay. For vibe voice large. So it would be like make vibe voice large service. But even the small one, I don't know.
Hello there, Vibe voice is loaded. Very cool, I think. Only would raise Fourth Amendment.
I don't know. It's really great. Anyway, so this is all looking good. We're also going to want to pick out some actors. This is the fun part in my mind. These are some sample voices. All of these are just a handful of voices from bigger data sets that we collected and then have preloaded. You can read more about it in the README. I really recommend trying out Test New voices. You can do that on your own. Not doing it in this video. They're very high quality though. I'm gonna get some from Amelia. I really like this data set a lot as well. I think it's the, make sure you respect copyright. These are, I would say, probably taken from YouTube videos. I mean, this one especially.
And The Witcher 3 is one of those games where if you dive back in, load up an old save, even if you've spent 3 or...
Anyway, we're looking for voices for Pride and Prejudice, so we want some British voices. I'm gonna favorite this one. And for more British sounding voices, I'm gonna go to VCTK. I believe this one is pretty good.
If the red of a second bough falls upon the green of the first.
Yeah, this one sounds great. And then I'm gonna grab one more.
If the red of the second bow falls upon the green of the first, the result is to give...
Sounds fine. That can be the narrator, maybe. We only need 3 voices for this segment of Pride and Prejudice. So everything's ready. Now we go to the timeline. This is where you load up the script we made earlier. And first we're going to assign these. Let's say the narrator can be 225. You assign a voice mode and then a clip as an actor for every one of these characters. So for example, if there's one character who you really want the higher CFG chatterbox for, you do that. For Mrs. Bennet, I think 233. And for Mr. Bennet, we'll do this one. So this purple is the main track. This is set up to run with 5 voice. Let's start with a couple of these. And then I'll also enqueue the long one. But you can see that it's pretty fast.
My dear Mr. Bennet.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring this in a bit. When a generation doesn't go the way you want, you click new and then you try again, or you can tweak the settings. Let's see what this one sounds like.
Said his lady to him one day.
Okay, that sounds
Have you
good.
heard that Netherfield Park is let at last?
Mr. Bennet replied that he had not.
Okay, cool. So that sounds good. It's currently in the middle of generating this long one. Okay, let's try it out.
It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife, however little known the feelings or views of the surrounding rightful property of some one or other of their daughters.
My dear Mr. Bennet.
Okay. Yeah, so Vibe Voice, incredible on longer text. you give it 3 words and it can't do it. I'm going to try this with Chatterbox instead. Both these models are loaded, so it should be easy to try a different one for this use case. I'm also going to enqueue these two down here. Alright, this is with Chatterbox.
My dear Mr. Bennett.
Okay, nice. It's just loading the...
My dear Mr. Bennett.
Said his lady
Okay.
to him one day.
Sounds great. Let's see. Where do we leave off?
But it is I'm a PJ.
Returned she.
Okay. So, this one, we're going to want Chatterbox as well. Or, another thing we can do is we can grab a couple of these, select both of them, and then make a multi-speaker dialogue like this. The Higgs version of this works well. I also have Dia, which is made for multi-speaker dialogues, working. This one is probably going to sound terrible, I'm going to be honest. Because technically Vibe Voice can do this, but it's not great, usually.
But it is ask you. Returned she.
Yeah, okay. Let's try it with... Yeah. Let's see, this one was good, right?
Returned she.
Yeah, okay. And then let's try this one with Chatterbox again. And while that's generating, I'm going to go through the rest.
Mrs. Long has just been here and she told me all about it.
Mr. Bennett made no answer.
Do not you want to know who has taken it?
Cried his wife impatiently.
You want to tell me, and I have no objection to hearing it.
This was invitation enough.
Okay, sounds good. Let's try this.
But it is.
Returned she.
Okay, so this sounds perfect, and then the last step is that we hit export, concatenates everything into a big audio file.
It is a truth universally acknowledged. Mother of their daughters.
My dear Mr. Bennett.
Said his lady to him one day.
Have you heard that Netherfield Park is let at last?
Okay, alright, so that's the idea. It's working pretty well. Let me know what you think. Try it out. Enjoy.